When I am looking to plan out an album, I often get very granular and very anal. Surprise, I'm type A. So I'm going to go through an example of how I often do this, and we're going to use this album here. And opening a new album is always super exciting because it's nice and fresh and new, and it usually smells amazing. For those of you who like the smell of like new paper and new plastic and all that good stuff. So these albums often come with page protectors. Sometimes they don't. Usually, though, they do. And so when you know your page protector variances and what the different sizes are, then you can kind of work from there. The standard of the page protectors is, a 6x8, and actually, let me show you in an album. So, a 6x8 full page, and I don't have one in here, I bet. So a 6x8, two 4x6s, sometimes you have ones that are two 3x4s and a 4x6. And then the other standard size is 4 3x4s. Okay, that's the standard. Now, Simple Stories in the past did make some unique ones like the 4x4s and the 2x2s. Scrapbook.com still makes those. Well, I guess they do make them because Simple Stories doesn't do it anymore. They also had 3x3s and 2x2s. So I have some of those in my stash that I can use. However, they're limited. So kind of the standard is the 6x8, the two 4x6s, two 3x4s and the 4x6, and the 4x4s. Okay. So when I am starting a project, I usually use a little piece of paper, and this is punched and it fits in a little planning binder I have. And what I do is I start with drawing all of my boxes, because these boxes are going to be one of those page protectors. When you are doing one side of the page protector, the other side has to be the same, right? So for instance, here's us at Buc-ee's. I used 4 3x4s. The next story has to fit 4 3x4s. Unless I want to stick something on top of the protector, but one side has to map to the other side. And, sometimes things don't map perfectly. So here I have 2 3x4s and I have a 4x6. But my story on the other side didn't map to a 4x6 here. What I did is I printed a 4x6 photo with a 3x4 piece on it and then just put my card over top. So you can kind of get away with things that way as well, or even doing little inserts. A 5x7 doesn't fit in anything unless I want to do a full 6x8 page. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. I like putting little tabs, but you can do your journaling, punch your holes, and then you're good to go. Okay, so when I am thinking through, and especially if I haven't printed my photos yet, this is going to help me determine what photos I need. Now, I can do some of this on my project planning page, but I use this because it fits in my book that has all of my projects in it. So anytime I am working on anything, I can pull out my little book here and I can go in and I can see, so here's my Disney pages. So this is a Disney trip. I map it all out. The pages that are going to face each other. And as I finish things, I cross them off. Here's a Disneyland Paris album. Here's another Disneyland album. So I map everything out. Everything. And I draw the little pictures so that I know exactly what page I'm on, what I should be expecting to do in terms of that page, and what that end look should be. Okay. So is this really detailed and anal? Yes. This is how my brain works though. Okay, this works for me. Other people have seen this and it gave them hives. I don't like replicating photos, especially on Disney trips. I don't want to be the one that has 4 pages of the same ride. I don't want that. I want to enjoy everything that I did, but I don't want to replicate and I don't want to miss anything. I'm anal that way. So if this works for you, great. If this doesn't work for you and you want to be more free range, or if a project planning sheet would work better for you, great. You do what works for you. Okay. So what I do is usually that first page is going to be my title page. Okay. Whether it's something like this is the trip that we're taking. This one I haven't completed. I usually complete the title page at the very end, but this title page will have I Love Colorado. I have a die cut that I got at the store. I also have this really cool little license plate that I probably got at Garden of the Gods. My title page isn't done because I do it last. So probably I'm going to have the little license plate, probably have the sheet of paper. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Okay. But I know I'm going to have a title page. I always have a specific title page. So I always write that out as a title page, and usually I leave that as a 6x8. Then on the back of that page, now I know it's going to be a 6x8. So if I'm doing a December daily, probably I'm going to do like a reason why page or a letter to December, or kind of just an overview. Because I know that that's what I usually do for December daily. Especially since this is the year that we got married. Probably going to have some journaling about how busy our December was. Okay. Now, I said I was going to do 25 different stories. And so I have this little piece of paper here that I wrote out different things of files and folders of pictures that I have. Okay. And I actually kind of started thinking about what I could be doing for some of these. So for instance, we had family in town and we went to Seaport Village. We went up to Cabrillo. I baked our wedding cake and cupcakes. And so I have pictures of that. I have the desk that the team put together for me on my last day before I left for the wedding and the holidays. We went to Disneyland earlier that month, and I put the dates specifically if I had them. And then, some of the wedding things I can break out into different stories. Okay. So my chipboard numbers go up to 24. And I confirmed that. So I had this pack. I thought it would go to 25. It did not, but that's okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at this and I'm going to map it out based on this configuration. Okay. Now, often you're going to look at your photos when you're doing this. I just kind of looked through my photos, so I kind of know what I have. You can still map it out and adjust your photos or put in inserts of, stickers and things like that if you don't have enough photos. So the first page I'm going to do is we went to Disneyland. Now, I'm going to do an insert here that is 5x7. And this is just how I denote it because it's not an actual page protector. It's an insert. I'm going to do a 5x7 picture of us at the castle. And then I'm going to back that with us with the Main Street tree. Okay. So front and back of that insert mapped. So when I get the photos and I print them, I'm going to have 2 5x7s that I'm going to stick together. I'm going to put a tab probably, and it'll be us at the castle and then us with the tree. Okay. Then from there, so this is story number 1. From there, I'm going to do a 4x4 because I have a bunch of pictures of Disneyland, and this is going to be Disneyland Continued. Okay. So story number 1 is going to be Disneyland. Now, after we went to Disneyland, story number 2, we went to Murrieta and saw my in-laws because it's not that far from Disneyland. Okay. So I have photos of us at Marietta. We had stopped in there to do some before the wedding planning. Specifically, my sister-in-law was trying different things with my nails because she was going to paint my nails and do my nails for me. Okay, so that is going to be the story. Specifically, my nails. Okay, were there other things that we did there? Sure, but that is going to be story number 2. Okay, now, as I'm looking at the dates, I think story number 3, I want story number 3 to be Parker is born. Okay, and this is really special. She was born on the 2nd. The 2nd was my mom's birthday, so it was really special that she was born. And she was also supposed to be born closer to our wedding date. So the fact that she was born a little bit early meant that they could attend the wedding and she could attend the wedding. And we have some really cute pictures of her at the wedding as well. So that will be story number 3. Now, I have quite a few photos there. So I'm going to say flips and question mark, because I could create a flip to, because it's the front part of the page, flip up here or flip up here and add extra photos, extra journaling. I could do that so that it's all on one page, but there's extra stories there. Okay. I also have a scrapbook.com flip page that's 2 4x6s, and then it has a 3x4 flip. Okay, so it has this, and then it has a separate little flip. So I'll also do that as a question mark. Okay, now, and this is what I do. So then on the back of that, I need 2 4x6s. Looking at the stories, a lot of these were later in the month. I think I want my next story to be, we were in Marietta again. And Tom and Grandma Elaine were doing yard work. So they were trimming up some of the palm trees in the backyard, doing some cleanup in the backyard. I want that to be a story because we were there and working on that. Now, story number 5 is also Marietta, but we had given my mother-in-law a pirate head that she made into a Chargers pirate. Huge Charger fans. And again, I think that will be a large photo. So I'm going to leave that 6x8 and put that story on it, which means the next page, so I'm going to have to do something that's a little bit more traditional. I don't want to do an insert. I already did one there. I want to do something else. This could maybe be a big flip. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a huge photo, but I want to tell the story. So I think that will be good. And the photo is vertical. So after that, I think what I want to talk about is on the 10th, my desk at work. So I'm kind of doing like everything before the wedding. I could also do, actually, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change that to our tree at the apartment. I like tree photos when they're big. I like doing them 5x7s. So I'm going to change that to our apartment tree. Okay. And on the other side, I am going to do another 4x4, and I'm going to do apartment decor because we have a bunch of pictures of the apartment decor. So I want to do that there. Okay. Now, we have apartment decor. Now, actually, I have multiple pictures of my work desk. And this is the decor that I did. And my handwriting is terrible here, but That will then be offset, and I have multiple pictures that are 4x6 with the bridal desk at work. And that was on the 10th. Okay. Don't have dates for these other ones. Doesn't matter because it's story number 8. And I might put that the date was the 10th. I might not. Story number 8 though is the work desk. Okay. So this is how I kind of walk through and plan it out. And the reason for that is that you never get stuck then with having photos that are the wrong way. So for instance here, the work desk, the decor that I did, I'm not going to print those out as 4x6s because I need 3x4s. Okay. And often I don't do albums unless I do this kind of mapping, especially for a theme like this, where I'm talking about stories of December, because I don't want to print out photos that then don't work, that I'm not using, that I'm wasting my money on. I would rather spend my money on new products I want or new experiences that I want to do. So this helps make sure that I'm not wasting my time and my money and my efforts, especially when I send photos into Shutterfly. I have a Costco discount. I get 51% off, but I have to do big orders. And so I want to send everything all at once. And then when it comes, I want to be able to take this and run with it, or even start working on this ahead of time because I already know what photos I have. And I actually will come in here, and often with a different color pen, I will say like I have 2 photos. So then I know when I'm working on this, the work desk, I need to have 2 inserts because I have 2 photos. I need 2 inserts. So I will do 1 insert that's 3x4. Maybe I'm going to use some journaling blocks. Maybe I'm going to use some different cards that I have. These journaling cards that I get from Ellie Studio. You can get them anywhere. But I know that I need 2 of them. So maybe I'm going to pick one that is green because I want to put, stickers and stuff on there. Or maybe I want to find one that is red that I can do my journaling and put my number. Usually you want those to kind of match. But then that gives me a good indication as to what I need in terms of embellishments and extras on that. I can work ahead while I'm waiting for my photos. And just as you saw, there's this little container. This is actually a gum container, and I think it's like extra gum or whatever, but it fits 3x4 cards perfectly so they don't get dented and damaged. I love these. And I have some travel ones in here. I love it. I love it. I love it. So if you get this, you can throw it in your crop bag and be ready to go if you don't already have it in your album. But this is kind of how I plan that out. What needs to be photos? What needs to be created? Do I have cards already that I can use for these specifically? So if I was, planning something specific around cards, then I could use these cards and plan my page around that. So maybe I want to have something that is July. Maybe I want to have a couple of springtime ones that are sticking together. Maybe I have ones that are ready for journaling and I'm picking my photos around that. So sometimes it also works to pull some of these products ahead of time so you have a sense as to the things you want to use already and the inserts that you're going to use so that you make sure that you have room for them. Lots of opportunity to do that with this planning. Lots of opportunity to do that with your project planner guide too, right? Because you can talk about the different products. You could do these boxes here in the notes field. And sometimes I will even number these boxes so that I know, 1A, 1B, 2AB, 3AB. maybe I want to do foiling for one of those. I want to do foiling for the Disney page. Okay. Maybe I have a large foiling card and I want to use the entire thing, and I'm going to not do a photo that's 5x7. I'm going to do a photo that's a little bit smaller so I see the foiling in behind it. I would make that note here, foiling card. You could also make it here. However it works in your brain to do that. But that's how I plan all of my albums. Once everything is planned out, I have the photos ready to print. Then it goes in my book and with different tabs. Of course, they're not labeled because my brain just knows what they are. This is my Colorado. This is my Disney. These are some travel albums. This is foreign travel. These are my Texas things that I have going on. And then there's extra paper in the back. So I can come in here, add it, and then be good to go. So that when I'm ready to work on the project, everything is mapped out. I know where everything goes. I just have to sit down and actually make it. And then as I create things, I can then check it off and I know that it's done and move on. And usually when I'm working on a mini album, I will sit and work on that mini album until it is complete, as opposed to kind of piecing it out. That's something I did here for the Colorado. I'm kind of adding stories as I go. Like here's friends that came from Indiana. Here's friends that are from England. You know, fast forward, our friends from Indiana came back. So I'm just kind of adding stories as I go. In this case, I kind of just do it as I'm adding. So, you know, when I was going to do some of these stories, I knew what my configurations were. And sometimes it worked, and again, sometimes it didn't. You see here I do two 3x4s. It was on a 4x6, and that's okay. I just made it work, okay? So it really depends on what you want to do, right? Here, it didn't work to do it in here. I wanted an actual insert, and so I put an insert. You know, you can always change it up. It's your album. There's no right or wrong way to do it. There's no right or wrong way to plan for it. What works for you and what helps you get it done is going to be the best thing for you. So that's how I kind of approach things. If you have questions about that, you kind of want to walk through that with me, I'd be happy to do that. This gives me goosebumps. I absolutely utterly love it. So if there's ever a time that you want assistance with this, let me know. I will make this project planner available. If that is helpful for you, I will put it in the Facebook group. Super simple. You can add to it. It's a Word doc, not a big deal. I like printing things out. This will go in a regular binder. You can hole punch it because then I can write and jot down ideas and all that good stuff. As I kind of go along, because sometimes I'll be thinking about things or I'll find a product and I'm like, ooh, I want to really use that. Or maybe you pick something up like, oh, I just bought these Santa stickers and I really want to use them because they're puffy. Where can I add them in? Where do I want to put them in? So it kind of has that flexibility that you can write it in as you kind of go. All right, as I said, if you have questions, let me know. If you need assistance, let me know and we'll work through it together.